The story opens by introducing the Galactic Senate, a governing body that oversees the relations and regulations between various alien species and empires across the galaxy. This Senate is made up of the most powerful and influential leaders in the galaxy, each representing the might and interests of their respective civilizations. Throughout its history, the Senate has seen the rise of many dominant species, each with their own goals and ambitions, but none have provoked as much fear and unease as Earth. Initially, the Galactic Senate dismissed Earth and its people as a young, technologically developing species, one that seemed destined to remain insignificant in the grand scale of galactic politics. Earth, still recovering from its own internal struggles and with a relatively modest level of technological advancement, was seen as just another small player in the cosmos. The Senate assumed that humanity would stay confined to their home planet and never pose a serious threat to the established intergalactic order. However, this complacency is shattered when Earth begins to defy expectations. Over time, the planet's military, economic, and technological capabilities begin to grow at an astonishing rate. What was once a species on the fringe of galactic affairs is now rapidly expanding its influence beyond Earth. This unforeseen growth starts to alarm the Galactic Senate as humanity begins to show signs of being a force that can't be ignored. The speed with which Earth's influence spreads across the stars, combined with their surprising successes in conflicts with more advanced civilizations, makes the Senate question their initial assumptions. The Senate leaders, accustomed to ruling the galaxy with an iron fist and confident in their ability to maintain control, are now beginning to feel uneasy. Earth's unexpected military victories over much older and technologically advanced species challenge the status quo. The balance of power within the galaxy is being shifted, and the once secure position of the Galactic Senate is now under scrutiny. These leaders are starting to realize that Earth might not be the insignificant species they once believed, and that humanity's determination and quick progress could upset the established power dynamics. The Senate, now unsettled, fears the rise of Earth not because of its military might alone, but because of its potential to challenge the long-standing dominance of the galactic powers. As Earth's influence grows, the senators begin to question whether they can continue to maintain their authority and control. Humanity's rapid rise forces them to consider whether their empire is truly as secure as they once believed, or if they are facing the rise of a new power that could challenge their long-held supremacy. The turning point in the story begins as Earth, once thought to be an insignificant player in the galactic scale, suddenly emerges as a military power that demands respect. Humanity, which had once struggled with internal conflict and primitive technology, experiences an explosive rise in military and technological capabilities over the course of just a few decades. Through sheer determination and resourcefulness, humans develop advanced technologies and gain the ability to travel through space, expanding their reach beyond Earth's atmosphere. This rapid transformation takes the Galactic Senate by surprise. What was once seen as a primitive world is now starting to develop spacefaring capabilities, building advanced warships, and developing weapons that rival even some of the most established empires in the galaxy. The Galactic Senate, which had dismissed humanity as a young, unimportant species, now finds itself facing the reality that Earth's military power has grown to the point where it can no longer be ignored. However, it's not just Earth's technological advancements that catch the Senate's attention. Humanity's military strength also comes from their tactics and unity. Where other species might crumble under the pressure of war or be distracted by their own internal conflicts, humanity's ability to come together and unite under a common cause makes them particularly formidable. Humans do not just fight for survival, they fight with a relentless spirit and a unified front, regardless of the odds. This is a trait that has given them victory even when outgunned and outnumbered by more technologically advanced civilizations. The Galactic Senate, which has long prided itself on maintaining the status quo and overseeing peace between species, is now beginning to view Earth's military rise as a direct threat to its dominance. What was once a distant, insignificant planet is now on the rise, challenging the balance of power that has stood for centuries. The alien empires, who once thought of humanity as weak, are beginning to feel the sting of Earth's unexpected strength. This fear grows within the Senate as they recognize that if humanity is not contained soon, They could very well challenge the established order and reshape the galactic power structure. What if humanity decides to expand beyond their solar system? What if Earth's military power continues to grow and the human race decides to assert its place among the stars? These questions, once unthinkable to the Galactic Senate, now start to dominate their discussions. Fear begins to take root, and the once secure empire finds itself facing an emerging force that it underestimated from the very beginning: Earth. The shift in perspective begins here. What was once seen as an isolated, vulnerable species is now a powerful military force that has the potential to disrupt the entire galactic order. As Earth's influence continues to grow, the Galactic Senate begins to feel the full weight of their miscalculations. What was once considered an insignificant planet now stands at the edge of a new era, an era where humanity is no longer a minor species, but a formidable power that is making its presence known across the galaxy. News of Earth's military victories and their rapidly expanding technological capabilities spreads quickly across the galaxy. Species that had once disregarded humanity as primitive now find themselves facing an uncomfortable truth: Earth is rising and is beginning to make strides in galactic diplomacy, trade, and warfare that could rival some of the most established and dominant empires in the galaxy. The Galactic Senate is deeply concerned about the shift in power and what it means for the future of their empire. The fear among the Senate's leadership is palpable. The rise of Earth's military power and the unity of humanity in the face of challenges is a stark contrast to the fragmented and decaying empires they had grown used to dealing with. While the Senate had always relied on diplomatic control, military intimidation, and a long-standing balance of power, Earth's unified front and unpredictable resilience are forcing the Senate to reconsider their strategies. The alien species that once held sway over the galaxy, confident in their advanced weaponry and centuries of dominance, are now starting to worry. Earth's rise is not just a matter of military power, it is also a matter of unity and resolve. The human capacity to adapt to new challenges, outmaneuver superior technology, and unite despite internal divisions has become an unexpected threat. Where other civilizations falter or fight amongst themselves, humanity has shown that they can rise above such struggles, working together toward a common goal. This ability to unite and focus in the face of adversity is something the Galactic Senate fears, because it makes Earth unpredictable and far more dangerous than the Senate initially believed. As the fear spreads across the galaxy, alien empires that were once confident in their ability to control Earth begin to reconsider their positions. The Galactic Senate starts to question whether they can continue to maintain their dominance as humanity's power increases. No longer can they view Earth as just another insignificant species. Humanity's rapid expansion and their growing influence make them a potential rival to the Galactic Senate's established control. This growing fear is not just about Earth's military prowess, but about the human spirit, a quality that the Senate can't easily suppress or predict. It is becoming clear that Earth's rise may be inevitable, and with it, the balance of power in the galaxy may be about to change forever. The Galactic Senate has begun to realize that Earth is no longer something they can dismiss. It is a new power, one they cannot ignore. As Earth's influence continues to expand, the Galactic Senate takes drastic steps to limit humanity's growing power and influence in the galaxy. The fear of Earth's potential to disrupt the galactic order leads the Senate to take action, launching a series of measures designed to contain Earth's progress and restrict its reach. The once dismissive attitude of the Senate turns into concern, and their response is one of diplomatic isolation, economic sanctions, and military deterrence. One of the first actions the Senate takes is to implement a galactic embargo on Earth, cutting off their access to advanced technologies and critical trade routes that could aid their growth. The Senate assumes that by restricting Earth's access to resources, they will slow down humanity's technological development and stop their military expansion. Sanctions are placed on key technologies, and Earth's access to galactic trade agreements is severely limited. At the same time, the Senate begins to form alliances with other powerful empires, encouraging them to isolate Earth and limit any potential support for humanity's expansion. These alien coalitions are instructed to monitor and interfere with Earth's diplomatic efforts, preventing any alliances that could empower Earth's rise. The Senate believes that by preventing Earth from gaining intergalactic allies, they can keep humanity in check and prevent them from becoming a true galactic power. The Senate's military response is equally severe. Peacekeeping forces are sent to patrol the borders of Earth's influence, and alien fleets are stationed around key systems near Earth, prepared to enforce the restrictions. The Senate sends a clear message: humanity is not to be allowed to grow beyond its designated place in the galaxy. Any attempt at further military expansion or interstellar colonization is met with aggressive intervention. However, these attempts to contain Earth only bolster humanity's resolve. The restrictions imposed by the Senate become a rallying cry for humans, who see these actions as a direct attempt to suppress their progress and deny them their rightful place in the galaxy. Instead of crumbling under economic sanctions and military intimidation, humans grow even more determined to prove themselves as a force to be reckoned with. The Senate's actions, meant to weaken humanity, instead fuel a new wave of resistance, leading to a unification of human effort in ways the Senate never expected. What the Senate fails to understand is that the very measures they take to suppress Earth are actually strengthening humanity's unity and determination. Rather than breaking under pressure, humans begin to adapt more quickly, developing new technologies, forming secret alliances, and countering the Senate's military presence with their own guerrilla tactics. The Senate's attempts to contain humanity are seen not as a way to defeat them, but as a challenge to be met head-on with the very spirit that defines humanity. As the Galactic Senate struggles to suppress Earth's rise, humanity continues to push back, showing the galaxy that their resolve and unity are unstoppable forces in their own right. The Senate's containment efforts only accelerate the inevitable rise of Earth as a galactic power, one that refuses to be controlled or limited by any external force. The more the Senate tries to hold humanity back, the more it becomes clear that Earth's place among the stars is not just possible, but unavoidable. The Galactic Senate's efforts to contain Earth only backfire, escalating the conflict rather than suppressing humanity's rise. The more the Senate attempts to restrict Earth's influence, the more united and determined humanity becomes. Instead of crumbling under the weight of economic sanctions and military pressure, Earth's resolve strengthens, and humanity begins to show the galaxy that they will not be easily controlled. Humanity's response to the Senate's measures is swift and unexpected. Earth's leaders, once forced to work within the boundaries set by the Galactic Senate, now begin to push back with a force that shocks the galaxy. Human technology, once considered primitive, begins to evolve at an astonishing rate as humans adapt to their limited resources. Earth's military develops countermeasures to the alien technologies that the Senate has tried to keep from them, and covert alliances with other disenfranchised species begin to form. The Senate's attempt to isolate Earth and control its expansion instead pushes humanity toward collaboration with alien races that also feel oppressed or marginalized by the Senate's rule. These alliances form a new coalition, united not just by shared grievances but by the shared realization that the Senate's dominance must be challenged. What started as Earth's struggle for survival has now become a galactic movement against the status quo, with Earth at its heart. The military retaliation against Earth's forces, once meant to keep them in check, begins to crumble under guerrilla tactics and creative warfare employed by Earth's resistance. Humans, with their determination, adaptability, and unity, use their fighting spirit to overcome the odds. Their victories begin to spark further dissidence within the ranks of the Senate's allies, as other species begin to question their loyalty to an empire that is so clearly on the verge of collapse. The reversal of the situation is dramatic. The once dominant alien empire that sought to quash Earth's rise is now on the defensive, fighting not just against Earth but also against a growing alliance of liberated species. Earth's unity has turned the tables, and humanity is no longer just surviving but actively pushing back, asserting itself as a dominant power in the galaxy. The Senate's attempts to contain humanity have made them stronger, forcing the galaxy to reckon with the species it had once dismissed as insignificant. As the Galactic Senate begins to crumble under the pressure of Earth's rise, they realize with horror that their greatest fear is coming true. Humanity is no longer a small, insignificant species. It is now a galactic force with the ability to reshape the balance of power in ways that were once unimaginable. The humbling realization sets in. The Senate has lost control, and the forces they sought to suppress have only grown stronger in the face of adversity. What they thought was a temporary setback has turned into a permanent shift in the galactic order, with Earth now poised to take its place among the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. The Senate's fear of Earth's expansion has become a reality. Earth is no longer the minor nuisance it once seemed, but a unified, unstoppable force that has reshaped the galactic order. With the Galactic Senate's efforts to contain Earth utterly failing, the once proud alien empire begins to experience its downfall. The strategic shifts humanity has implemented, combined with their unyielding spirit and newfound alliances, mark a turning point in galactic history. The balance of power has irrevocably shifted, and humanity, once considered a vulnerable species, has proven itself to be an unstoppable force. The human coalition, now bolstered by the support of other disenfranchised species, begins to advance against the alien empire's weakened forces. Earth's military, though still smaller in size compared to the empire's might, has learned to leverage its resourcefulness, adaptability, and guerrilla warfare tactics to dismantle the alien forces systematically. The humans' tactical brilliance outmatches the once infamous superiority of alien military power. What was once a struggle for survival has transformed into an empire-changing revolution. The alien empire's remaining forces, once sure of their dominance, are now on the retreat. The Galactic Senate, having underestimated the human spirit from the very beginning, finds itself at the mercy of a species it once sought to suppress. Humanity's relentless push forward is not only a military campaign but also a political and ideological war, a fight for the freedom to exist and shape their own future in the galaxy. The Senate's once absolute power is now dissolving as planets and empires that once feared the Senate begin to rise alongside humanity. As the final strongholds of the alien empire collapse, Earth's influence expands even further. The unified front formed by humanity becomes the new pillar of stability, and other galactic civilizations, once divided, begin to rally around humanity's cause. Earth, once seen as weak and fragmented, has now become the galactic power that others look to for guidance and leadership. The human spirit, the catalyst for Earth's rise, has transformed them into the new architects of the galaxy's future. The Senate's leadership, now fractured and powerless, is left with the devastating realization they cannot contain the human spirit, and their efforts to suppress humanity have instead allowed Earth's unity to become its greatest weapon. The humans, who once struggled to find a place among the stars, have now taken their rightful position as leaders and innovators in the galaxy. With the Galactic Senate in ruins, humanity begins to restructure the galaxy, forging new alliances, and working toward a future defined by freedom, equality, and the unified strength of its people. The human ascendancy marks the beginning of a new era, one where Earth's values of resilience, unity, and the power of the human spirit are now the cornerstone of a new galactic order. In the aftermath, the Galactic Senate, now humbled and broken, acknowledges the power of the human spirit that led to its downfall. The universe, once dominated by the alien empire, is now redefined by humanity's rise, a testament to the unbeatable will of a species that refuses to be held back, no matter the odds. Humanity's future, once uncertain, is now one of limitless potential, and the galaxy's fate is forever changed by the power of Earth's unity and determination. The final shift has come, and the unshakable human spirit will continue to shape the galaxy for millennia to come.